Is a storm a brewing, or are the Gators going to keep on chomping? It's the Hurricanes and the Gators live from Condren Ballpark. Will Levenson here live outside the Hefner football facility, the center of the Florida football program. They call them the Comeback Cats for a reason. Can they do it again this year? Here's what's happening in the wonderful world of sports. The NFL is buzzing after what former Florida Gator Anthony Richardson did at the scouting combine this weekend. Gators lacrosse is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. They've won 6 of their last 7. And the Wildcats have beaten the Gators 3 consecutive times. The Gators will look to end that streak tonight in just a few minutes from the O-Dome. 64 teams are now down to 2 in the men's basketball tournament. Finally, after a mad month of March, tonight we'll have our champion. It's the longest distance between 2 teams in championship tournament history. UConn sits nearly 3,000 miles from San Diego State. They'll meet in the middle in Houston to crown a champ. Here at Florida Gators Pro Day, it was all about Anthony Richardson, and he took the roof off of the practice facility today, literally hitting the ceiling. He was showing off his talents, throwing the ball all over the yard in front of scouts and coaches all across the league. This came from Billy Napier's National Signing Day press conference today. Just one commit, just one signee for the Florida Gators today. That was Caden Jones, a tackle from Louisiana. But the big story of the day, of course, Jaden Rashada, the former Florida quarterback signee that had his NIL refuted. Will Levenson here at Hawthorne High School. It's the Hawthorne Hornets and the Gibbs Gladiators. The undefeated Hawthorne Hornets put up 48 points last week. Tonight, but a defensive struggle. 7-6 is our score at the half. An energetic Donald R. Disney Stadium saw a big Gator lacrosse win Saturday. The Arizona State fans showed out in full force, making a cross-country trip to see their Sun Devils lose.
But Will, it hasn't been the same story on defense.
You're right, Elise. No, it has not. And while we shouldn't push any panic buttons on the program as a whole, I would slam any and all panic buttons on the defensive side. In short, it's been bad, like eye-openingly bad. Florida ranks last in the entire FBS in third down defense. Not just last in the SEC, last in the entire FBS, number 131 in the nation. Third down is the most important down in football. It changes games, it decides games, and Gator opponents get first downs nearly 53% of the time. Yes, we need to be patient and wait for Napier and Patrick Toney and company to get their guys, but it's hard not to criticize what has been the worst Florida Gators defense in the last 50 years. With the top-ranked Georgia Bulldogs next on the docket, Elise, the Gators will have to clean things up defensively. Tony, a.k.a. the human joystick, fooled the Eagles defense with his pre-snap movement, getting himself wide open for the go-ahead score. But wait, there's more. After a Chiefs stop on defense, Tony reminds us all. Special teams, special teams, special teams. A 65-yard return for Toney. It's the longest punt return in Super Bowl history. How might they be ready for this game tonight?
Hey, they're going to have to be. I'm not really sure, man, but we're going to see.
We're going to see a top 2 team coming to town. It ain't going to be easy, but we're going to do our best tonight.
Obviously, we're going to win.
Obviously. I mean, no question about it, right?
No question.
I have no doubts. You have no doubts.
I have no doubts.
Nobody has any doubts. They're not going to lose.
I had the opportunity to sing the national anthem at the Gators baseball game.
Kennedy, you didn't just sing it, you rocked it.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. I'm Will Levenson. Here's what's happening in the wonderful world of sports. The NFL is buzzing after what former Florida Gator Anthony Richardson did at the scouting combine this weekend. Richardson broke the NFL combine record by a quarterback for highest vertical jump and longest broad jump. His blazing 4.43 40-yard dash was the 4th fastest by any quarterback ever in NFL combine history. Simply put, Anthony Richardson was perfectly curated in the lab. This man is a freak of an athlete and has the full attention of the NFL. From the old to the new, Wisconsin transfer quarterback Graham Mertz appears to be the heir to Richardson's throne. Donning the same iconic number 15 once worn by Tebow and Richardson himself, we got our very first look at Mertz and the entire Gator squad Saturday on the first day of spring practice. If Mertz wants to live up to the number 15 expectations, well, he'll have to work for it. Offensive lineman Austin Barber said Mertz has been embracing the grind.
You know, Graham Mertz puts a lot of work, and he's in this building every single, 24 hours. I never see him leave. When I leave, his car's still here. When I get here, his car's here. So it's just, I'm happy he's putting the work in.
Florida will continue spring practice this week on Tuesday and Thursday. To the Diamond, where Gators baseball got a big series win over rival Miami. The Hurricanes and Gators, it's an annual series that never disappoints, and it certainly didn't this year. These two teams are not too fond of one another, and we saw plenty of trash talk throughout the weekend. But the Gators got the last laugh with a hitting explosion Sunday and a 14-4 win in the rubber match. It was a day of dingers, my friends, as Gator hitters smashed 4 home runs in the win. The 6th-ranked power-hitting Gators now sit at 10-3 on the year. They turn their attention to another South Florida opponent as the FAU Owls will make the trip up to Gainesville for a pair of games on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's what it sounded like as Colin Castleton took his final walk through Billy Donovan Court on senior night. The 5th-year center's career at Florida is over. His season ended weeks ago due to a broken hand. But as for players on the court, the Gators capped off the regular season with back-to-back wins. Florida stormed back from a 12-point second-half deficit to complete the season sweep over LSU 79-67. What a week for freshman guard Riley Kugel, who's has averaged 20 points over his last 3 games. He put down 21 in Saturday's win, earning him SEC Freshman of the Week. The win clinched Florida a bye week in the SEC tournament as they prepare to face Mississippi State on Thursday. An energetic Donald R. Disney Stadium saw a big Gator lacrosse win Saturday. The Arizona State fans showed out in full force, making a cross-country trip to see their Sun Devils lose. Florida's offense set the net on fire with a 17-goal performance. A true team showing. 5 Gators scored multiple goals. The 2nd straight win makes Florida 3-2 on the year, their lone 2 losses coming to top 10 foes. History in Germany. The first ever NFL regular season game on German soil did not disappoint. A sold-out Allianz Arena remained packed well after the final whistle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Seattle Seahawks, as thousands of football fans from across the globe sang along to soak in the moment. It was more than a game, it was a celebration. A celebration for a sport that is truly becoming global. Chris Moore, a former NFL player and German native, said American football is quickly growing in his home nation.
Germany, outside of Canada and the US, is probably the biggest market for NFL football. They could have sold 3 million tickets for one game, so it's kind of put it in perspective that how big this gotten here.
The NFL can see this growing popularity and has taken action by confirming that games will continue to come to Germany until at least 2025. That will certainly make the German fans happy, but it's hard to be happier than Tampa Bay Bucs fan and Munich native Tobias Stark, who's waited decades to see his team play.
You can't describe it, you know. I never thought that an NFL game would take place in Germany. And yeah, later on it's in my hometown in Munich, and it's my home team, so it's more than I can ever imagine. Could have ever imagined. It's totally crazy for me.
The city of Munich was taken over by German and European fans in NFL jerseys all across the town, many of which don the pewter and red with the Bucs playing. This is something Tobias didn't quite see coming.
I never knew there were so many Bucs fans in Germany. We thought we were just a small group. We know there's, especially since Brady signed with the Bucs, there were more Bucs fans, but not this many Bucs fans like we see now. Yes, I saw 100,000 of people in Munich wearing Bucs jerseys. Never thought about it.
Tobias has been able to grow his fandom on social media, specifically on Twitter. It was there where he connected with fellow Bucs fans. However, it wasn't until this week that Tobias finally got to meet his virtual friends. One Bucs fan that Tobias met and quickly became friends with this weekend was Moritz Stump, who is equally ecstatic to have his favorite team come to Germany.
It's insane. It's great that football is growing internationally. I think it's a huge chance for Germany and the whole European market to grow. And I think it's great. When you go through the city of Munich, you see football jerseys. It's insane. And it's not only the Bucks, it's every team. I think it's really great for the European market and the German market as well.
The first NFL game in Germany certainly proved one thing, and that's football is not going anywhere in Germany. The NFL will be back, and the fans are excited to have it. Will Levenson, WUFT News. Will Levenson here live outside Condren Family Ballpark. The Miami Hurricanes are in town for a big weekend series against the Gators. We're going to go around the entire stadium and ask fans about their thoughts about this big weekend series. That's next on Reptile Report. What is going to happen inside that ballpark tonight?
Lots of home runs if this wind stays the way it is.
And it will be Gator home runs.
No Cane home runs, no Hurricanes this weekend?
Now we'll give them one or two.
Are you a Gator student?
I am.
So he's a Gator student here tonight wearing a Miami Hurricanes shirt. Why is that?
I grew up a diehard Canes fan.
Can't even tell. What team you rooting for?
I'm a Gator by heart. If I go to the school, I'm going to be showing my orange and blue pride all night.
Not tonight.
It's all in the heart. I got orange and blue in the heart.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Do you care?
I do care, actually. That's why I have the hat.
So who cares? You care. The Gator hat proves that. You have to say to all the fine Gator fans here today, especially your classmates that are Gator fans, but you here rooting for the Hurricanes.
Good luck.
Who's going to win the series?
Go Canes, always.
Check out this line going outside Condren Ballpark. The fans are excited. So what was the decision to make to wear this Who Cares shirt today?
Well, I like this shirt, but then I realized I'm like, people might get the wrong impression. I'm not a fan. I don't really care what's going on here, but like, just so everybody knows, I really do care.
Is a storm a brewing, or are the Gators going to keep on chomping? It's the Hurricanes and the Gators live from Condren Ballpark.
On the First and 10 pregame show, here's Will Levenson.
After a big win over 7th-ranked Utah, there has been no shortage of praise thrown at the Gators this week. Now it's time to back it up. Coming into the weekend, Florida jumped way up in the AP poll, going from unranked all the way to number 12. Now for the second consecutive week, a ranked team trots into town. This time it's an SEC East foe, the 20th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. With the hype, the Gators stand as 6-point favorites at home against Big Blue. The headline story for Florida all week, well, it's been about the quarterback. All eyes are on Anthony Richardson after an impressive performance last week. He's been the talk of the town and has even gotten some Heisman buzz. Head coach Billy Napier says it's his work off the field that has gotten Richardson here.
He rose to the occasion. I saw a guy who has prepared behind the scenes, is a product of his work, and it showed up. You know, all this work he's been doing when there's nobody watching. You got the physical ability to go along with that, but he's going to get better.
Richardson finished with 106 yards on the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns last week. Florida as a team had 283 yards rushing, 75 of which came from Louisiana transfer Montrell Johnson. Johnson gave all the credit to his offensive line for last week's performance.
To my O-line, I give all my greatness to them. They did great all night. They were getting a lot of push off the ball, and you could see like throughout the game that the defense was getting tired, and we were just wearing them down by our fast-paced offense, and that really helped us a lot.
Florida's offensive line was absolutely mauling in the run game last week, and Kentucky knows it must contain the rushing attack to have a chance in this one. So how about the Gators through the air? Well, Florida's leading receiver last week is also its newest receiver. Arizona State transfer Ricky Pearsall arrived on campus early this summer and caught 4 balls for 67 yards against the Utes. Napier said he likes Pearsall's skill set.
What stands out to me about Ricky is he's a very skilled player, right? He's skilled at the line of scrimmage, at the top of the route. He's got really good ball skills. He's got a unique quickness and acceleration. I think he's got a little creativity. The guy's been running routes a long time, right? And I think we needed a player like that.
And Pearsall, well, he's excited to face his first SEC opponent.
I'm super excited. That's what I came here for, I wanted to play in the SEC, and it's going to be my first conference play, and I'm super excited. I can't stop talking about it. I'm going up to every coach, and I'm like, are you ready for this weekend? Because I'm ready for this weekend, so I'm excited.
With Kentucky potentially stacking the box to stop the run in this one, watch out for the deep ball. We know Richardson can sling it. Just ask Pearsall.
If he wants to throw it across the entire field, he can do that. You just ask him, he'll throw it 100 yards.
Meanwhile, on the defensive side of the ball, it's been all about the young guys. Leading the way for Florida secondary, sophomore cornerback Jason Marshall Jr. had an impressive performance last week, helping hold Utah's outside receivers to just 51 yards receiving. Marshall said he holds himself to a high standard now in his second season.
But last year, I didn't really give up that many yards. It's just coming in this year with a higher standard, giving up less.
Now facing a highly talented quarterback in Kentucky's Will Levis this Saturday, Marshall said Levis's ability certainly poses a challenge.
He's a top draft guy, so that means his balls are accurate. So that'll put me, and I have to have my keys right, eyes right, and everything like that.
Will Florida build off of last week's huge win and kick off the Napier era with back-to-back wins over ranked opponents? Or will the Kentucky Wildcats play spoiler for the second year in a row? The first SEC game of Billy Napier's career is just hours away. I'm Will Levenson. Back already here for the first possession for Ridgeview of the second half. 21-10, 11:04 to go. East side on top of the third quarter. Handoff right up the middle inside. Gets to about the midfield marker, going to be about a yard short of midfield, and it's going to be calling about a 2 or 3 yard gain. Right up the middle. That was crisp number one. We have Shepard Bridges on the handoff right up the middle. Seen him a couple of times, had a big bruising run late in that second quarter. Brought Ridgeview deep into East Side territory. Is now in 2nd and 7 for the Panthers. They come out 2 receivers to the right, 1 all the way down to the left. And the shotgun handoff up the middle once again to Shepard Bridges. Looked like he had some room, but well defended on the second wave from the East Side defense. Looked like that was number 19, Tamarian Carr, to get in there, and a couple more defenders. DJ Anderson, we've said his name a ton of times tonight. He's been on seemingly every tackle for this East Side Rams defense. Mario Mitchell, number 18, got there as well.
Big third down for Ridgeview. They can find a way to get a first down and maybe even get into the end zone at the end of the drive. Makes this one a 1-score game. We'll see what happens.
And the shotgun takes a snap, fires over the middle. It's caught for a big first down. Delivers the blow, but stands tall and picks up about 15 yards near the 40-yard line, down to the 41. A big first down, a gain of 14 yards, and a heck of a throw there.
Once again, that slant route. That's how Ridgeview got the touchdown. They were inside the 5, threw a slant, was a pass interference call, gave them another sign of life, and they caught the touchdown pass on the slant. This time on third down, go back to the slant. Sorry, Russell Wilson, but Ridgeview can capitalize.
Yeah, the slant has been working tonight for the Panthers. Right up the middle goes 21, Ryan Hutchinson. And he's met immediately in the backfield for a loss. Say that was Jatarius Servants in the backfield. He's had a tremendous night tonight, getting into the backfield, creating those run stops, a couple of tackles for loss here in this one.
And that's really been what's been happening to Ridgeview, is on the runs they just can't get those big yards, relying on a few penalties and then these slant routes. Yeah. And another penalty, we'll see if they call it on Ridgeview, and they will.
Is this the quarterback? 14? Yeah, it's a tough pre-snap penalty for the Panthers, moving them back. They already are behind the chains after first down. Now you get in a 2nd and 17 or so. Really behind the chains now for quarterback Richard Lewis and company.
We've seen a couple big penalties cost them offensively, but taking advantage of East Side penalties to get points on the board.
Lewis in the shotgun, takes a snap, fires it out quick on a curl route. Looked like Jaron Rozier made the grab at about the 43-yard line on the near sideline. Just right of that far hash, and it's going to be complete near the original line of scrimmage, so a gain of about 5 or 6 yards, make it 3rd and 12, and still 3rd and long for Ridgeview.
Sophomore quarterback in for the Panthers. That's really what they've been doing tonight, is just letting him get comfortable, not forcing the ball down the field, just giving him slant routes, out routes, curl routes, letting him make those plays.
Ridgeview now fires over the middle. It's going to be caught by Chris Baptiste, and well defended there by Eastside for the tackle immediately. That was 25, Jeremiah Williams, who brought him down just near that original line of scrimmage. We'll call it the 38-yard line, so a gain of about 5. It'll be 4th and 8. And likely a punting situation, or will they try the long field goal?
Looks like they will punt it. And they faked a punt earlier in the game to set up their first score, which was a field goal. And the East Side coaches to the left of us yelling out, watch number 6.
Yeah, watch the fake.
Talking about Jarius Morey, who had that fake and that big first down.
Let's see if they fake it again. This one's a snap straight to the punter. He's going to boot it away. And this one's high up in the air, bouncing at the 15-yard line and out of bounds near the 10. They'll mark it down at about the 13-yard line, and that's where Eastside will start 1st and 10 from there, and gives us a chance to talk about Eastside football's supporters.